For quite some time now, I've been wondering to myself, what makes Captain Marvel Carol Danvers special? What differentiates her from every other hero at Marvel and DC and on the indie comic scene? And it doesn't feel like Marvel Comics themselves have ever been able to really explain that. Why should I root for, Carol Danvers Captain Marvel? Well, she's an Air Force pilot, kind of like Hal Jordan. Well, she's got cosmic powers, kind of like Marvel, the original Captain Marvel. And then she stands up to Tony Stark and she's the leader of the Avengers, kind of like Captain America. She's got a drinking problem, just like Iron Man. And Marvel Comics have never really differentiated what makes Captain Marvel special. What is her hero's journey? I've always been wondering this, and I'm wondering, why should I buy this new Captain Marvel comic book from Alyssa Wong? Rebooting the character for the 14th damn time, like in less than a decade. It's absolutely crazy that this has happened over and over again, but Marvel have never made the character feel special. Recently, there was an article on Screenrant that promised that Alyssa Wong got the character better than everyone, and they were going to be able to spell it out really easy and all the amazing changes she is going to make for Captain Marvel. And I would say this article is a bust. They don't really explain anything, and it was so hilarious that I decided that I wanted to share it with you guys, and I am not cutting anything out. I'm going to cover the entire article, and I want you guys to listen to this, what Screenrant had to say, quoting Alyssa Wong, about all the amazing things she's going to do with Carol Danvers. The upcoming Captain Marvel series is set to bring major changes to the character, introducing not only a new look for Carol Danvers, but new enemies and a new sidekick. Still, with so much change coming to start the new series, writer Alyssa Wong has made it clear she brings a fundamental grasp of the character to the role. Well, thank goodness, because it feels like nobody has had a fundamental grasp on the character of Carol Danvers since she was repackaged from Kelly Sue DeConnick. Kelly Sue DeConnick doesn't have a fundamental grasp on the character, what her journey is, and what makes her special. Finally, we do have a writer that's got that. We are promised she's going to have a new look. She's got a ponytail, and it looks like she's a drum major. That right there fundamentally changes who Carol Danvers is. She's going to have a new enemy. Nobody has ever relaunched a hero with a new enemy. This is groundbreaking stuff, and a sidekick. There has to be more coming to the table for Alyssa Wong to really rejuvenate Carol Danvers to this degree, which Screenrant are telling us is happening. In an interview with Looper, Alyssa Wong displayed the keen insight into the character, which will serve as the basis of her take on Captain Marvel. Finally, somebody's got to take on Captain Marvel, a series that promises exciting character dynamics and cosmic threats alike. Quote from Alyssa Wong to Looper about Carol Danvers: if she believes something needs to be done, she'll get it done no matter what. Well, if that isn't character defining, I don't know what is. If she believes a job needs to be done, she'll get it done. That is the most generic platitude, literally, in the history of generic platitudes. That isn't even something you say about heroes. Like, a hero is willing to make the sacrifice, put their body on the line. If something needs to be done, she gets it done no matter what. You could say that about me. Wes, your Wednesday Patreon exclusive podcast with Aaron Sparrow needs to get done. And you will get it done no matter what. That's true. If the internet is not working great, I will find a work around it. If I don't have great topics to talk about, I will invent great topics to cover, because I know the job has to get done. And I imagine basically every single person that's watching this knows that if something needs to get done, then you'll do whatever you have to do to get it done. That is not heroic. That is being a human with responsibilities, and you need to do stuff. But that is the overall take of Alyssa Wong on Captain Marvel. Are you sold yet? Because I'm feeling a little underwhelmed by this article. That was the big take. Okay, so I'm going to say that's not exactly groundbreaking stuff, and I don't believe that's character defining for a character that is supposed to be as powerful and amazing and super as Captain Marvel, which Marvel Comics would like us to believe. So I'm going to say they missed a mark on that one. Alyssa Wong's Looper interview was full of exciting teases for the writer's upcoming Captain Marvel series, which will pit Carol Danvers against new villain The Omen, herself an emissary of an even greater threat, the godlike entity referred to as the Undone. From Wong's comments, it is clear she's bringing exciting ideas and a fresh perspective to the title, all of it undergirded by a precise understanding of Captain Marvel and what makes her a vital hero to the Marvel Universe. Wong explained that she loves the character for being brave, principled, and stubborn, and that she sees Carol as both an unstoppable force and an immovable object. Holy shit, you just stole Gorilla Monsoon's line for Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. She's Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant put into one. The unstoppable force and the immovable object were no longer meeting each other. They combined into one great entity. And that's the big line on that one. Does that really define Carol Danvers as a hero? And then we're going to introduce Omen, who's an emissary of a greater cosmic threat named the Undone. Does that sound like the Silver Surfer and Galactus to anybody else? That's not even an original idea. And everybody who relaunches a character brings in a new villain, and they always flop. That's not original. That's not a new take. That's borrowing Jack Kirby's fucking leftovers and then rejiggering it and saying, I did something new. Come on. There's got to be more to it than this. But that really is, for the most part, the new exciting additions to the Captain Marvel Carol Danvers lore. She's brave, principled, and stubborn. That doesn't really differentiate her from any other hero in the Marvel or DC universe, but she is an unstoppable force and an immovable object. Could you say anything that meant less? That's my big question to Alyssa Wong. Could you actually say anything less definitive about the character and what you actually think about Captain Marvel? But according to fucking Screenrant, she's breaking new ground on the character. This is, oh my goodness, it's hilarious. I love characters who will put everything on the line, including themselves, in order to accomplish what they feel they need to do. Wong told Looper, that level of commitment to heroism, bordering on near desperation, injects an immediate tension into a character's actions. And as Wong noted, playing with that tension is fun. Bringing that tension to another level, the writer will also introduce a new sidekick for Captain Marvel, a character designed to be the precise opposite of Kamala Khan, Carol's previous protege. While Carol Danvers may be more than ready and willing to risk life and limb, her erstwhile new supporting character may not be. I would like a character that wasn't trying to do the right thing at all times that everyone loved. I would like them to not want to do the right thing and everyone hate them and be completely non-heroic. That would be a great sidekick for the character. I have a feeling that's not what this new sidekick would be. But I do think this is also really weird timing because you do have the Marvels coming up. And Carol Danvers' protege in the movie is Kamala Khan. And Kamala Khan technically is the most interesting, likable thing about the entire Marvels cast and everything. The reason people might actually want to see it is because Iman Vellani seems like a nice person. And they're totally undercutting that in the comic books by replacing her and saying, you know what? We need a sidekick that's the complete opposite of Kamala Khan. She was totally wrong for Carol Danvers. She needed a better sidekick. That's what actually was keeping the character down. It was just such a weird change and weird timing. Maybe the Marvels was already supposed to be out well before this comic book was introduced. I just have a feeling that this new sidekick will make as much a difference to people that are skeptical about Captain Marvel and why she's not special as this new villain Omen, which is basically Silver Surfer with Galactus, and her new ponytail and new top, because she looks like a drum major. And none of it really defines the character and tells you why Carol Danvers is special. The most exciting words said about the character in this new series are said by Screenrant. They said that level of commitment to heroism, bordering on near desperation, injects an immediate tension into the character's actions. Well, that does sound exciting. When I hear that, I'm like, man, commitment to heroism bordering on near desperation? Yeah, I can kind of get behind that. Of course, the sentence that they derived that from was, I love characters who will put everything on the line, including themselves, in order to accomplish what they feel they need to. Not exactly as amazing as Screenrant would actually like you to believe it. That's how they interpreted it. I interpret that sentence to say, this is a very generic hero. I do not know what to say about Carol Danvers that actually differentiates her from any other hero in the Marvel, DC, or any universe whatsoever. Certainly not manga, certainly not cartoons, nothing. So I will just say the most generic thing in the history of the world and hope that you didn't notice that I never actually read Carol Danvers Captain Marvel. And even if I did, I took nothing away from it about the character and why they're special. But Screenrant thinks this is amazing stuff. The new Captain Marvel series appears poised to deliver an action-filled, momentous story packing in a variety of the elements that have made other Marvel series successful over the past several years. The series, with Alyssa Wong at the helm, may help define a new era for Carol Danvers. It will introduce the latest in a series of Marvel cosmic level entities, and the book's other new characters could be among the next generation to transcend their original roles and become mainstays of the Marvel Universe. As more details about the upcoming Captain Marvel are revealed, anticipation can only continue to build. I don't think it is building. Like, that's pretty crazy. I don't know, man. So it sounds like this is going to continue in the mode of other successful Marvel series over the years. And recently, successful Marvel series have been like House of X, Powers of 10, so X-Men, Amazing Spider-Man, obviously Spider-Man, Immortal Hulk. And it feels like the one thing that all those things have in common is an A-list hero in the headline of the book. And Captain Marvel is not an A-list hero. So it doesn't feel like it has anything in common with things that have actually sold the past few years. And I do highly doubt that Alyssa Wong's Captain Marvel is going to do anything to help define a new era. It's just going to be canceled in 12 to 18 issues, just like all the other Captain Marvel books, until they just decided to go with Kelly Thompson to 50, even though it stopped selling after about 20 issues. They just said, fuck it. People have been making fun of us for years now for rebooting this book. Let's just keep going, even though we're not really making a whole lot of money on it. This time they won't be able to do that because somehow Alyssa Wong is less of a draw than Kelly Thompson, and it will continue the cycle of just rebooting and repackaging the character with a new ponytail. Maybe next time she can crimp her hair and people will get excited about that. Maybe we should introduce, I don't know, a new tote bag. Maybe a new tote bag will make Captain Marvel the bestest hero in the Marvel Comics universe, since fans have been rejecting this idea for almost a decade at this point, and no one cares about the upcoming details being revealed, and there is no anticipation to continue. There will be a few people that buy this book because they buy everything Marvel, and there are probably 100 Captain Marvel fans out there that will put it on their pull list, and that will be it, and no one will talk about it, and certainly not if the details and what Alyssa Wong has to say about the character. There will be nothing character defining. The character will not be elevated. It will be business as usual, except she's going to be fighting not Galactus and Silver Surfer, and she'll have a Kamala Khan sidekick that's not Kamala Khan. All things that likely were not holding the character back to begin with. I think the real problem is Carol Danvers herself, and I guess we'll just have to wait for the next writer to do something that will actually make people like and respect the character and support her as far as sales in the comic book universe. But this character really is the original sin of all the terrible female heroes that we've gotten over the past decade. It all started with Kelly Sue DeConnick redefining Captain Marvel and forgetting that you had to make the character likable, forgetting that the character actually had to have a hero's journey, forgetting that the character had to have something that distinguished themselves from every other hero out there. But they just told you it was good. It was all astroturf, and I broke it all down right here. Kelly Sue DeConnick, Captain Marvel, the thing Marvel wants you to believe was successful, but absolutely failed. There's also a link in the video description.